Hey Strong Siders, I'm Byron at Strong Side Conditioning. What we're going to do today is I want to show you my prep for doing deadlifts. We're going to do this with all the trainers. They're going to show you all the little things that we have going on with our bodies and what we do before we actually start getting into training. So again, like I said, I want to talk about my deadlifts. So through our NKT testing, I found that I have a facilitated bicep femoris for my left glute. That means that I have an overactive bicep femoris when I'm doing lifting or pushing actions with that leg. The glute doesn't really fire, so I get a little bit of twisting, maybe some torquing in my hips. Definitely get some cramping in my bicep femoris, and it might even lead to injury. So I definitely want to clear that up before I do my deadlifts. So what I want to do is I want to take that facilitated muscle and I want to try to inhibit it a little bit and then activate my glute. Basically, I'm causing my motor control center to fail a little bit, forcing a different pattern for my body to use. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Another thing that I want to talk about is warm-up sets. I see a lot of people, they have programs where it might say like, let's say you have 5 sets of 5 reps. That's 5 sets of working reps. You may want to do 3 warm-up sets, 5 warm-up sets, 10 warm-up sets. Depends how you feel that day. I typically do about 5 warm-up sets before I get into my 5 work sets. I want to build my body's neurological system preparation for that heavy lift. If I go straight into it, my body's not going to be ready for it. I might hurt my weakest link. I might pull a muscle. Otherwise I might just not perform very well. So let's make sure you're performing at your best. Let's do a lot of prep sets depending on what you're doing. If you got any more questions about how many prep sets you should be doing for a specific exercise, let us know. It's really, really important to do these things, especially if it's your first exercise of the day.
Let's clear up this situation. So we know I have a facilitated bicep femoris, so let's release that area. I'm going to use the rumble roller here because my hamstrings are pretty dense. What I want to do is I want to find my most tender spot along the line of that muscle, and I want to get some sort of measurable change. That might take 30 seconds, it might take 2 minutes, it might not happen at all if my body's not ready to let go of it. So the idea is sit on that one tender spot that you find is worse than the others and see if you can get it to go away. Just because it goes away doesn't mean you moved off the area, your body is now down regulating that area. After you're done rolling around, and again, spend the time on this, it's really, really important to get rid of it or else your compensation patterns will persist. We're going to start to get into some glute bridges. So I'm going to fire my heel into the ground, trying to get my glute to turn on. You'll see me punch it here to make sure it's solid. And I'm going to do a couple reps of these. I might do a total of 12, trying to make sure that the glute stays on and it feels like I'm firing the glute. If I feel like I'm cramping in my hamstring, or I feel like no glute activation and only hamstring activation, I'm going to go back to my release. I'm going to keep going back and forth until I get that glute firing. There is no point in me doing my deadlifts unless I have that glute firing. If my body's not ready to let it go, I might alter my workout for that day. Alright, feels pretty good. I'm going to get into it. So again, Strong Siders, let's do your warm-ups properly. Let's own your movement. Let's get you better. Let's get you stronger.